have steering lock, you unload the inside front because you put G on the car, so the inside front starts unloading. Fozzie, wait, careful, I'm answering the questions. So because that was in relation to trying to beat Lewis with a certain gap that he had, scenario 7 is most likely. Welcome back to another episode of F1 Fridays, and this time not only am I going to do a Q&A, but I'm going to take you onto a hot lap of mine on the Hungaroring, and more than that, I'm going to take you onto another lap where I'm going to take you really slowly through the lap, and I'm going to do an educational session showing you how to get the best out of one hot lap in Hungary, explaining you every single intricacy, so stay tuned and check it out. As you know, I'm doing these hot laps for my project Fundraise, where I'm raising lots of money for people who are suffering in this time of Corona. We've already raised 50,000 euros, and the top prize of my raffle is my electric high-performance motorbike. So please check it out in the link below. And in the meantime, you can win 1,000 entries to my raffle in this video here today. All you have to do is get the top trending comment. Last week's top trending comment was Drink4711, saying, "I'm most looking forward to in Austria in the race, the Pink Panther versus Black Panther battle," meaning the pink Racing Point versus the black Mercedes car. So 620 of you like that. So I gave Drink4711 1,000 entries to my raffle, 100 euros worth. So please now comment below, and the comment for this week for reference is, so far, who has impressed you the most this Formula 1 season and why? So do something, comment something related to that, and I wish you good luck. If you get the top trending comment under this video, you'll get 1,000 entries to my raffle, and you might have the chance to win my electric high-performance motorbike. So comment now below. Okay, here we go. So now I'm taking on a slow lap. So start out wide, fourth gear here, and then put in flat out as early as possible on the throttle to get a good run out. DRS straight away. Okay, now upshift, of course, perfectly. Okay, now it gets interesting. So this braking here, and I'm going to take you into a lot of details that won't make a difference in this game, but they make a difference in real life. So this braking here is completely straight for a very, very, very long time, and you only steer in the very, very end when you get to like third or second gear. And therefore the brake balance, you have to move it very far forward to like 60%. So now you brake, straight line of course, right after 100, and you try and make sure that you're as far out as possible here without touching the curb, because that might disturb you. So then third gear, probably in qualifying. Again, you miss the curb here because it's too unsettling, so you just go on the edge of it. Then you come out here, and again, you miss the exit curb because it's too unsettling for traction. And then once you get on the power here, first of all, because in the beginning of traction, it's the most difficult to put the power down because you have the most power from the engine and the least aerodynamics. So here, it's very important to keep the steering wheel as straight as possible for as long as possible. So you're going straight artificially here, even though it looks weird. You go straight for as long as possible, and you steer in the very end, and that will help you get every inch of traction down possible. So now we go to the second point. Now here, again, go to the right as quickly as possible. Now this corner, you're braking much deeper into the corner, and you're going to start steering whilst you're still in like fifth gear. That's where you start steering, and you're braking much, much deeper, so much longer braking with steering lock on. And when you have steering lock, you unload the inside front because you put G on the car, so the inside front starts unloading, and therefore there's a lot less potential on the inside front. So what you have to do for this corner, before you arrive at this corner, is you have to go rearwards on the brake balance, probably around 2% at least, so you go to 58, maybe 57, so 2 or 3% rearwards to get the optimum here. Okay, so now let's go into this corner. So we're downshifting and braking as late as possible, probably third gear again here. So hit the apex. Now this is interesting on the exit. So the exit here and how early you can get on throttle is all dependent on being able to take the next corner flat out. That's the most important. You have to be able to take the next corner flat out, otherwise you lose too much time on all the straight afterwards. And so in qualifying, probably you can run almost to the exit here, not quite touching the curb, to just make it back enough to then be able to take this corner easily flat. Just taking the inside curb there has to be flat here, all the way out to the AstroTurf. And there we go. So now we're still flat, and now we get into this corner here. So this is very difficult because, as you can see, we still can't see the apex. So you have to hug the right-hand side curb, and you don't see the apex. So you go by memory, and then you suddenly have to turn in. And again, you take a lot of the curb here, and again, the exit very difficult to see, but you run out as much as possible. It's sixth gear, very, very fast. Run out as much as possible. Important here is don't run out too far because you need to get back as quickly as possible to the left, all the way here, as much as possible. Some people don't really make it, but if you can make it, then good. It's really tight to make it. Anyways, as much as possible. And then again, really late braking. So here you can still run that rear with brake balance that we had before, 57%. You brake, downshift, really late, fourth gear. Look, fourth gear now here. Hug the inside, and then the exit is like opening up, so you can get on the power super early in fourth gear, and you run super wide early, and you stay there. And the biggest grip is outside on the concrete there. There's the great grip there for qualifying. Just in qualifying, racing is more difficult. Okay, so now we're out here on the curb, and now you have like half a second of time to throw that brake balance forwards again by 2%, because now you got this straight line braking again, where you're just going to steer in the very, very end in second gear. So throw the brake balance forwards. You brake it around 70 here, forwards, and then okay. On the first one, you can attack the curb real hard, sometimes like going over that big bit, and the second one, you got to miss that big bit, because by this time now, you're already again big time on the throttle, and if you hit that big bit, it unsettles the car, you jump, and then you're going to get into all kind of trouble putting that power down, so you have to avoid that big part on the second one, and then flat out. Now it's crucial, the best grip is on this tiny little concrete strip out there, because the curb of course is rough, the concrete is super smooth, it's going to be rubbered up, so you have to hit that concrete strip on the exit, because that's the best grip, so you just nail it there. Then you have to come back off it for the entry to the next part, because here the rear can be quite loose, and you got to dive into the, you know, very, very light braking, like don't overdo it with the braking, because if you hit the brakes too hard, you put the car into a nosedive, and then the rear will completely unsettle. So you just have a light tap on the brakes. You might even try and keep a little bit of throttle on to keep the car stable. Then you dive into here, you shift into fourth gear, and now again it's important, you got a lot of understeer here, big understeer, so you're trying to get around the corner, and you can't go too wide, because the next one is the more important corner, so you got to cut back over to the left, and as far as you can, not quite to the edge, but as far as you can, and then stay in fourth gear normally, whoops, fourth gear. And then again now, you're cutting into here, again, oversteer on the entry, big understeer in the middle, and here, very, very bumpy. So here, with the understeer and the bumps, you know that it's going to transition into oversteer when you're putting the power down, so it's super difficult to get right. And then running out, of course, all the way to the edge. Now the next part is easy, because this is easy flat, and this corner now is quite difficult, because you have such a... It's sixth gear, it's just like a tiny lift, like tiny bit. So again, whatever you do, you have to do really smoothly, because any too aggressive movement on lifting or braking or whatever just unsettles the car and gives you a big snap on the entry. So really smooth with whatever you're doing. Also, I mean, if you can, slightly smooth on the entry, but you don't really have time, you just need to be super quick on the entry. And then just hug the inside here, not too much again, because it unsettles. Very difficult on the exit because you don't see it properly. Take as much as possible without going illegal and without going to the AstroTurf in real. So now again you come here, and brake balance is still forward, so it's good to go. Keep it there, and then you brake it around 80, again straight, and here's third gear, and it's wider than you think somehow, so you carry the speed through here. Don't take the curb, because the curb is angled, so it throws you off if you take it. So miss the curb, just touch it slightly. And again here, super important, you got this concrete strip, and you have to nail it on the concrete strip right there, because that's where the best grip is. So you'll see, you put it right there, and then as soon as you can, back off, back to the other direction, so that you can get there early, and so you can do the braking as straight as possible, because if you get there too late, you're going to do the braking whilst you're still trying to, you know, so quickly over, and then brake in a straight line, and at the same time as you're doing all that, it's brake balance backwards again, 2 to 3%, because here you're going to be braking deep into the corner, the front inside is going to be offset, so you're going to have a lot of front wheel locking, so backwards on the brakes, and then you carry the speed in, and it's about third gear here. Third gear again, a bit wide on the entry, then hug the inside a bit later on, because such a long corner, and then early on the power, you can take it all the way out here, and then again keep turning on the exit to bring it back all the way back to the grass as possible. And then again, fourth gear, bit of a late entry here, and then the power down as early as possible, hug the inside, and then really wide on the exit, and make sure you don't run over the AstroTurf, and then at DRS, accelerate harder now, and hopefully it's pole position. So I hope that was interesting for you. And now we're going into the hot lap, flat out. Okay, I think that was a decent lap. Probably a couple of seconds still off the simulator guys, but I think that was good enough for you to see a cool lap. Last week for the F1 Fridays video, I also gave you a promo code to my raffle, which allows you, when buying tickets from a raffle with that promo code, you got double as many entries and so double as big a chance to win. And the promo code is double once again this weekend. So please put in the promo code double on my raffle website and you'll have twice as many tickets and entries and twice as big a chance to win my high performance electric bike and all the other great prizes that are on there. We're raising money for a good cause. Remember, we've got 50,000 euros already. So let's bring that up further. Come on, please go on my link on the description below to go on my raffle website and please buy your tickets there and put the promo code in double to get twice as many entries. All right, now we're jumping right into the Q&A session. If you want me to answer your questions in the next video, then make sure to answer them when we do the promotional post for this series. And here we go. Question 1. Leo_D_GA says, mechanical grip versus downforce versus high-end speed for Hungary. Well, high-end speed definitely doesn't count in Hungary, and it's mainly still about downforce because these cars have the most potential in the downforce. Of course, mechanical is also important, but downforce is everything, and that's why they ramp up maximum wing in Hungary. And that's the fastest way around the track, because the average speed, is still like, I don't know, 160 or something like that around Hungary, even maybe more. So it's still super fast, and at those speeds it's aerodynamics that's the most important. Question 2, Pina Gosh has asked, what are the tricks to overtake the Fen in Hungary? Well, the trick is to put as much pressure on at the end of the lap, in the last couple of corners, and stay as closely as possible through the last 2 corners behind the guy in front. What you have to do to stay close is to slightly offset your car to the guy in front through those long corners, so that of course you go into the dirty part of the track, but you have more downforce, so that's going to help you to stay closer. So you'll see that people trying to offset themselves on the entry, on the exit, to try and keep more grip, to stay close, and then you can get a good run on the last corner and overtake down the main straight. That's the best place and really the only place to overtake. Question 3, Will McLennan says, what's the most tricky sequence of corners at the Hungaroring? The most tricky sequence of corners would be, I would say the medium speed corners after the really tight chicane. They're 4th gear corners, and to get those right and to be fast there is unbelievably difficult. I mean, you get big oversteer going in, big understeer in the middle, and after the first one you got to pull back all the way to the left to make sure you get a good run into the second part of it. And then that second part is super difficult as well. Again, you got huge understeer in the middle. Again, you're going out wide, you got to get the power down though. Also, it's very, very complicated to be quick there, so that's the most difficult sequence. Then number 4 actually, Navin Kumar Nera _NK9 has asked, as Ferrari is good at slow speed corners, can it help them get up the order in Hungary? So Ferrari is not good in slow speed corners at the moment, and Hungary is definitely not going to be a place which is going to help them get up to speed. They're going to be struggling for a long time at the moment, which is tough for them, tough for us as well, because we would love to see Ferrari up the front there, but not going to happen. So we got to be patient there. Question 5, Konstantin Smorodin, how do you manage your ERS and engine modes in a car? Does your team control your power outcome? Sometimes race drivers asking more for power, which surprises me. So most of the time the team actually controls your engine power that you're using, although it's also your instruction as a driver to turn it down as soon as you can to save engine wherever you can. So it's really between both, but the team obviously in the end can always see what you're doing, so they'll also remind you when you do forget. So that's how you do it. And then in a battle between teammates, there it's very critical. There the instruction will come from the team, and then both teammates have to do it at the same time. But you can imagine it's a huge space for being annoyed and getting angry, because if one teammate does it 1 corner later, already he's had a big advantage, and so it's like, that's a tough one. Question 6 from Nureldin _4, what are scenarios like, for example, scenario 7 that we heard from Lando's engineer? So because that was in relation to trying to beat Lewis with a certain gap that he had, scenario 7 is most likely to just be more engine power. Maybe scenario 5 is engine saving, 6 is like medium, and 7 is high engine power. That could be a best guess, but definitely these are code words for important information that needs to be transmitted to Lando. Question 7, Martin Berglund Eskilsen, is the camber toe caster always exactly the same on both the right and left hand side of the car, seeing as Red Bull Ring only has 3 left turns but 7 right turns? So that's a very smart question, Martin. So the camber on the front, which is the angle of the front tires, is rarely the same on the both, and specifically in the Hungaroring, you would probably have potentially even more camber on the right hand side than on the left hand side. but I'm not sure about that because also in braking, having more camber on the inside tire is then not a good thing, and you're braking into these right-hand side corners. So it's always a big compromise. Probably my best guess actually to end this would be that it's the same camber in Austria, and you go for quite a lot of camber because you have so many high-speed corners as well, but it's difficult to know. Extra question, Justin _ 4x4, is the Hungaroring one of the more physically demanding tracks on the calendar? And yes, it is. It's super physical because it's very hot and there's no straights, and it's on the straights that you can relax. It's corner after corner after corner. Bazi, wait, careful, I'm answering the questions. Careful! Bazi! I'm nearly done. I was actually finished. Thanks for watching this video again, guys. So by now you've hopefully seen the Austrian GP video and now the Hungaro video. So please, this video is for you. So please comment below what you want to see me do differently in the next videos. Anything else you want me to explain or do, please comment below and I'll try and integrate it and bring it on board. And remember, for my raffle for Project Fundraise, the link is below. Please use the promo code DOUBLE and buy your tickets, and you get twice as many tickets and double the chance to win my high performance electric motorbike. So please, link below now and go on my raffle and buy as many tickets as you can to raise money for the people in need in these terrible times. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. I saw some of you guys commenting that I'm in my cellar. Well, indeed I am in my cellar, and I've got a whole light set up. Check out, great light here. There we go. Light set up so you can see my hands when I'm driving. And I've got my green screen for video conferencing, but I've just folded it away now. So I got a cool background when I do my video conferencing and all that. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you for more action from my cellar very soon on F1 Fridays.